In this video, we're gonna look at a recent photo shoot that I just did and how I made these photos. I'll break down the pre-production phase, the lighting, the post-production phase, and everything in between. And if you don't know me already, my name is Joe. I'm a professional portrait photographer based in Birmingham, UK, and this is my Road To Vogue series where I will take you on my journey into getting my work into Vogue or any big major magazine. So let's get into it.
Place. Never gonna win the race. Never gonna win the race.
So the reason why your photo shoots are always missing and they never hit that creative spot, so to say, is because you're neglecting the pre-production phase of all of your photo shoots. You're just rocking up and you're just taking photos here and there. You're like, oh, I'll take some photos, and you're not really thinking about it. You're not really planning it ahead. Even if your shoot is as basic and as simple, like this one, for example, you still want to put a lot of attention into this part of your photo shoot. And if you miss this quite vital stage in the photo shoot timeline, this could be the difference between a Vogue-worthy shoot to an amateur photo shoot. Okay, so how do I plan my photo shoots, that you may ask? So I create a presentation or a PDF, whatever you want to call it, to kind of give a good overview of what my intentions are for the photo shoot. And it's a full, like, cool little creative concept, basically. So you can see on the screen right now, I've called it Inferna. That's the shoot name, Inferna. It's like Inferno, but like a feminine twist on it, Inferna, which is a pretty cool name. I've also got a little description, kind of describing the photo shoot, giving context to the story that I want to tell. This is nice to put in there because you are giving context for what the photo shoot is going to be about, and you can kind of use this as a reference point and a starting point to what type of lighting that you want to use, how you want to approach the photo shoot, that sort of stuff. And by the way, I didn't create this description all by myself. I actually used AI, and if you click the second link below, you have a little guide. A guide will tell you exactly how to create a photo shoot concept fully from scratch using AI. So click that link below if you want to check that out. So yeah, so first thing, I have like a general mood board, the stuff that you're probably creating, because you'll probably do that now. I create mood boards and like that. If you just do this, you're stopping at just this. If you just do this, you're going to fail. You're going to fail where it's going to be, the photo shoot's going to be shit. So yeah, so first thing I like to do is a little general mood board of the overall vibe. This is always going to be like the first slide. And then I go into more specific detail. I start here with styling. So I say specifically what type of clothes I want. So if you might tell by the photos, the clothing was nothing like what the actual model came in, but I can't lie to you, I did try to kind of change my mind of what I wanted, right? Initially I wanted like an all black outfit, basically like everything is basically a void, even her outfit, her body was a void and just the hair was showing, but I actually thought, no, I want maybe she's wearing something white instead, and I think that kind of adds the contrast a little bit there, because I think already the background is already quite dark and it's like a void and you can't really see anything. So I think maybe the outfit was being also dark and stuff like that, maybe it wouldn't look that good. So I think the white probably works better, but in this case, when I was making this, I had the idea of wearing black. But here I've got black top that shows off the shoulders, jewelry, and some gloves. But you can see how I'm showing reference images. These are actually my photos here on the right here, but this was not mine. But you see how I'm showing really specific examples of what I want. And if I have a stylist on board, they will know exactly what I want from them, and they can obviously work with me on that. So this is why you want to put that in there, because you want to start really you already want to consider everything in your photo shoot. Like I'll go through here, second point here, I put hair and makeup. Hair and makeup, obviously that was the whole point of the photo shoot, the whole like subject of the shoot. So I had like bright red hair, and she came in this really cool, it was blonde, but she had these really coul red patterns, which was, oh my God, it was so good. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below, but the hair was so good. Thank you. Shout out to Tay, by the way, who's the model. She's actually here as well. Shout out to Tay. Great model, great hair choice, amazing. I'll also link the hairstylist's Instagram in the description below as well. But you can see how I'm putting very specific descriptions. Like I want bright red hair. I want like maybe red eyebrows. That was optional, and I had some like glossy lips. Like, I'm being specific with what I want. I'm just like, oh, can the model just, I want to model and they can just show up on the photo shoot and I take some photos. Like, it's not just about your lighting. It's not just about what camera, what lenses you're going to use, guys. It's also about the makeup. It's also about the styling, the poses, the location that you're going to be in. So another little like next one here, I put the lighting section. So I've kind of like discussed what lighting that I want. I put like high contrast moody lighting. This was made in Setalight, by the way. If you know what Setalight is, I'll link it below. 3D simulation of like making like studio lighting basically. And I can create exactly what type of lighting setup that I want on the day. So I can put this in there. High contrast moody lighting, that sort of stuff. And I've got these cool reference photos. Again, I'll be looking at the lighting section later on in the video, so you can check that out after this part, obviously. And the next part, I'll put set design. So even if it is as basic as just a plain black backdrop, putting that in there is important because the whole point of this presentation is to show off exactly what you are going for in the photo shoot. Every single like aspect and every single intention that you are going for, like your intentions. You're telling the model, you're telling the team that you're working with, okay, this is what I want. This is exactly what I want from the photo shoot. So like everyone's on the same page. No one is like getting caught by surprise of like, oh, what? I thought we were doing this. No, like everyone knows exactly what's going on, which is something that you want to do as a photographer. You want to be as predictable as possible because that is what will make you as professional as possible as a photographer when you're working with clients and everything like that. Because these types of things that you want to create this with your collaborative free shoots, and you also want to do this with your paid shoots also, especially with your paid shoots. I'll do this with both. And obviously that's only if the paid shoot requires a very creative concept. If it's just basic headshots or an actress or model just wants this sort of thing or whatever, probably won't make all this. I'll still make like a shot list or something, but I won't go like all out. But when I do get like a model or a client hiring me that wants to create like a really cool concept like this, then it's like I'll go all out for it. Which again, like when you're doing this too, when you go all out, they feel appreciated. They feel like, oh my god, this is really professional. Like every time I send like a PDF to a client or send it to like someone I'm going to collaborate with, they're always like, oh, this is so professional. Like, thank you for making this. This is so cool. Because I've never had that before with photographers. Photographers like yourself probably are just like, again, oh, let's do this. Let's make a general mood. Let's make this mood board, and like that's it. And then just leave it at that, and that's all they do. And it's like, yeah, no wonder clients don't really like you. You wouldn't want clients don't like you or something like that because you're not really professional. So when you start doing this, yeah, and again guys, click the second link below, which is a free guide to telling you exactly how to prepare for your photo shoots and how to make a presentation like this. So on to the next section, a shot list. This is probably one of the most important sections throughout the entire presentation because you're going to tell the model and yourself exactly what types of photos you want to get. So here I was prioritizing mid and close-up shots. So no like full shots or wide shots. I was going to be really intimate with like the chest up types of shots. And I've just got examples here. I went on Pinterest, I went on this app, I went on Cosmos, and I looked at some reference photos of what I should do, what type of poses I could do. This is mainly like a pose list for the most part, but you're using this shot list as a way of, is a literal checklist with, okay, I want to get this shot first and this shot next and this shot next, blah, blah, blah. And you can kind of go from there. So obviously here's like a load of reference photos here of different types of poses that I want to do. This could be a load of reference photos or it could be just a couple, doesn't really matter. I like to put in, personally, I like to put in as much as possible without it being too overwhelming. So I'm not gonna put like 20 here. Like, yeah, I could fit in like 20, 30 photos in here if I wanted to, but they'll be so small and it just looks so overwhelming that you wouldn't know what to do next. But if it's just like 8 or 4 or 3, you can kind of go, okay, I want that one, that one, that one. It's fine, that's all you need to do. And I hit same thing here with the close-up shots. Got some of my photos in there, got some photos from, again, on Pinterest and stuff like that, just to give a good idea what type of photos I want to do. So on the day, when I have my laptop out, by the way, on the photo shoot, I will have my laptop out like next to me where the model can see it, and I'll look at it, look over my shoulder sometimes and say, okay, let's do that pose next. So it adds some like flow to the photo shoot basically, because the whole point of this shot list is to have a plan ahead. Another thing that you can notice throughout the presentation is just the general style and presentation of the PDF. As you can see, like I have very certain font. I have like a certain color palette for each of the photos. It's very black and red, so like the photo shoot was, right? And have a certain fonts. It looks really nice. Because that's another thing that you want to do with these PDFs. It's kind of like have a coherent style to it that almost fits the theme of the photo shoot. Because I have a student on my photography program, by the way, top link below, you can join today if you want to. He was showing me a presentation that he created because I told him to create a presentation for his next photo shoot. And it was just kind of like, yeah, he made the presentation, but it just kind of looked like shit. Like it wasn't presented properly. It was like it was made by some I don't know, like middle schooler or something that for like a school presentation. Like it didn't look any good. It was like the default PowerPoint fonts. It was all over the place. The photos all random. It just looked like shit in my opinion. But I'm happy that he created the presentation. But I literally told him that this looks like shit. This looks very unprofessional. And if you were sending this to a client, this would be unacceptable in my opinion. Even if you did go out your way to send a presentation like this, if it looks like shit, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be some graphic designer to create something like this. I am terrible at graphic design and stuff like that, but I still kind of make this look nice. I try to make it look as nice as possible. Again, like stuff like Canva and Keynote and PowerPoint, they have their own designs, like templates that you can use. So maybe use those if you want to, but I don't personally use them. You can use them if you want to, but it really isn't that difficult to create a nice looking presentation that actually looks palatable and people will enjoy looking at. And also on a side note, I would recommend you create this presentation or PDF using a slideshow software. So some people might use Millernote or something like that. Don't use Millernote in my opinion because it's all cluttered. It's not really user friendly for people that aren't like us, that don't really use that platform. A PDF is as simple as this. Make it on Canva, Keynote, PowerPoint, export it as a PDF, WhatsApp the model or message the model, whatever, the presentation, and they can just look through the file. They just have to swipe, that's all they have to do. It's simple as. Don't do a Millernote to make it all confusing. They have to make an account or they have to go onto an external like browser and try looking at it. Like, just stupid. Just make it, it's just so stupid, so much friction there. Just make a PDF and send it to them in that format. The days of just creating these shitty little mood boards, like I said earlier, but with just this presentation and then leaving it at that, thinking that you've actually prepared for the photo shoot, are over. Those days are over. That is ridiculous. We are professionals now, guys, so we need to treat all of our photo shoots, doesn't matter if it's paid, doesn't matter if it's unpaid, as seriously as possible. As if we were getting paid by Vogue, £10,000 by Vogue, because my work will eventually get into Vogue, and I've got some photos into Vogue before. It's because I approach my photo shoots in this way. Because when you approach your photo shoots in this way, you're creating photos that look much higher production than they actually are, which will attract future clients, because you want to be able to create work that it looks so professional and so high budget that clients could not resist and they'll want to hire you for it. So I'm doing this not in a way of like just improving your work and getting better, but also you're using this practice as a way of landing more clients in the future. The reason why I'm able to land consistent clients every single month, I get like usually like 1 to 3, sometimes 4 or 5 clients every single month from photo shoots, from models, from clothing brands or whatever it is because I approach my photo shoots in this way. I create work like this and all my photos are amazing in my portfolio because I do all of this. I go all out for the photo shoots. If it's paid, unpaid, it doesn't really matter. Because look at other photographers' work, for example. Look at how they create their photos. Like obviously, yes, they might have gotten hired by these big clothing brands and these big like companies or whatever, so they have a limited budget. But that doesn't mean that you can't create similar looking photos with your own budget. Like you don't really have to invest that much money into a photography to actually take good photos. Now, if you look at my photo shoots, you'd think they'd be fucking worth like thousands of fucking dollars, right? But they're not. Some of these collaborative shoots that I do, there's like no budget behind it. This shoot had basically no budget behind it, yet the photos turned out amazing in my opinion. I don't want you coping and going like, oh, I can't create amazing photos because I don't have $1,000 to put to a photo shoot. You don't need that much money to put towards a photo shoot. You don't even need $100 to put towards a photo shoot to take good photos. You can spend like $50 on a studio hire. That's all you need. $75, maybe up to $100 on a studio hire, or renting out some gear, or using film, for example. It's just not as crazy as you think. Stop coping and start approaching your photo shoots in this way and watch you create your best work yet. Okay, so now we're gonna break down the lighting for this photo shoot. So I'm in this app, Satellite, like I kind of briefly mentioned earlier, 3D simulation. This is how I prepared for my lighting beforehand. So yeah, I'll show you on here. So here, very simple setup in my opinion. I've got a 3 light setup. I had this, I just put here, this is an Aperture 120D. It wasn't actually the Aperture 120D. I had the Small Rig 220 watt RCB or something like that. Especially the lights I'm using right now to light me. I had 2 of those with the parabolic softbox, a 90 centimeter parabolic softbox. It doesn't have the exact lighting, the lights and lighting like modifier in this app, but I kind of use the thing closest to that. It's like Aperture domes. It's exactly the fucking same basically, right? So I had these ones. Then I also had a Nanlite 60B as a rim light, as you kind of see here, as a rim light, kind of like giving that outline here. That had a reflected dish on it with a 30-degree honeycomb. So yeah, very simple setup. I had these grids on it too to make sure the light doesn't spill everywhere. Yeah, very simple setup here. I've kind of got this on like a Rembrandt sun lighting here, kind of like higher up, pointing down. I've got this top light as just like a way to kind of fill in the hair, because obviously the hair was kind of the main subject. So having that top part of the hair being lit, just so you have the whole hair lit, so it's not like dark at the top or anything like that. So that's nice to add. And again, like for the rim light, it's just more of an outline. It's what I like to do, because I have those harsh highlights to create that contrast and that drama to the photos. It makes it look more cinematic and interesting too. But what was different about this shoot compared to the other shoots that I do, I was using continuous lights. So I usually use strobes for photography because they're quite bright and you can shoot at lower shutter speeds because it freezes the motion. So you can shoot at lower shutter speeds and get no motion blur there. But I wanted to use continuous lights for this because I wanted to do some video stuff too. So because the lights were only 200 watts, that is powerful enough, but because I want to shoot at like f11, f16, I can't be shooting at a shutter speed that is handheld worthy, if that makes any sense. So I had it on a tripod, and because I was shooting on film, I couldn't bump the ISO to a bigger number because it's film. So I had portrait 800, obviously it's 800 ISO film. So it was, when I metered it, it was a 30th of a second. I didn't even in the app it said a 30th of a second right here to get the proper exposure. So I had it on a tripod. So yeah, I think the photos turned out really good, and I think the lighting was perfect for this photo shoot. This is the type of lighting that I like to do. Okay guys, very simple setup if you want to try this at home. And if you want to learn more about lighting and how to light with a specific style in mind so you can attract your dream clients and create your best work, guys, click the top link below to my portrait lighting course, which is a part of my photography program, Photo Genius University. I'll tell you basically everything there is to do about lighting. Literally, like, if you know nothing about lighting, this will completely change that. I'll go over the literal basics of lighting, of what a softbox is, what softboxes to use, what light modifiers to use, but also going into more advanced tips about lighting techniques, how to light with a specific style in mind, how to create the best work possible, basically. Because maybe that's one thing that you're struggling with right now is studio lighting. Maybe you're watching this section right now because you don't really know how to light. So that course is definitely for you. So if you want to check that out, click the top link below in the description. I want to see you inside. Okay, so what gear did I use? I don't usually use the most conventional ways of shooting. I had my Mamiya, or Mamiya is this side, my Mamiya RB67 here. This is a film camera, medium format, and with the film I had 2 rolls of Portrait 800, specifically because I was using just continuous lights, so obviously I have to have a higher ISO film, because the continuous lights that I use, these are actually the lights I use for the photo shoot. These are only like 200 watts, which is pretty good, but if you want to start shooting at like f11, f16, you kind of have to have a quite high ISO, and obviously 800 is probably the most I could go to. So I had that, and obviously I shot it on a tripod. I actually had it on a Manfrotto tripod because I could only shoot it at like a 30th of a second. So obviously I had to have a tripod for that, so I don't get any motion blur. It's actually kind of a new experience for me shooting on a tripod with portraits. Like, I'm more of a handheld type of guy. Like, I like to hold the camera. I know a lot of portrait photographers, they do suggest maybe putting it on a tripod so you can kind of look at the model more and communicate with the model more, but I don't know if that's really the case in my opinion. At least for film cameras, you can't really do that. Like, I still found myself staring into the viewfinder for like 95% of the time anyway, because waist level viewfinder, it was actually more awkward to like compose actually a lot of the photos I did do. If you saw like the original scans, maybe I'll put them on the screen, maybe I won't. The compositions are like so off. There's some photos where like there's like so much headroom, but I think it's because it's a black background and you can't really see where the frame ends on the viewfinder. It's not like electronic or anything like that. It's just like lines that are drawn on. So obviously it kind of blended in with the background because it was so dark. So you can barely see where like the composition starts and where it ends. So I didn't realize a lot of the time there's like so much headroom in some of the shots. I didn't realize, but again, with medium format, you can just crop. Like, with like lower megapixel full frame cameras or like 35mm cameras or something like that, or like super 35mm cameras digital, it's like, because they're lower megapixels, like 12, 16 or 20 or something like that, you have less leeway to crop. But with medium format, because it's like 50 megabytes or 100 megabytes or something like that a photo, you can literally just crop in as much as you want and lose no resolution whatsoever. Like a lot of the photos I do make on medium format, a lot of them are cropped to crazy. Like the craziest shit they're cropped, right? Because I was thinking like, am I gonna buy like a tighter focal length for this camera? And I was like, to be fair, there's literally no point. So I might as well shoot this camera, leadless lens, 127mm, which is equivalent to about 65mm. I can just use that and then punch in post. It's really that simple. I just do that. And also with the Portrait 800 with the film, I slightly underexposed it. So I underexposed it by about half a stop. So I actually had a light meter and I metered it for 1000 ISO. So it's kind of underexposed by a little bit, but if for film, that is a really nice look because you get those punchy colors out of it, because there's some shots in there which I overexposed by accident by a lot, and it's kind of washed out. Like, yeah, film can take overexposure, but after a certain, not even after a certain point, when you expose it by like 2 stops or 1.5 stops, you get this really washed out look that you can't really get back in post, which I don't really like. People say like overexposed film. I don't really agree with that. I think you should underexpose film. Overexposed digital, in my opinion, not the other way around. I think you should underexpose film by like, not like crazy amounts, but like half a stop, maybe a full stop. And with digital, overexpose by half a stop or a stop, or just correctly expose it regardless. Do something like that. But I underexposed it because you kind of get those punchy colors and that contrast back into the image when you shoot at those underexposure levels. So I shot it at 1000 with an 800 film. Okay, so let's quickly discuss the post-production phase of the photo shoot. There really wasn't much editing. Because I did shoot film, I barely had to edit these photos really. Like, here's the original photo and here's the afterwards. Like, obviously the original photo looks different, but it's like almost when the film scans come back, it's like raw or like log footage if you're doing video, and you just gotta like add the contrast. Like, but the colors are still there. That's the thing. With thing, it's not like with digital, it's like the raw, it's just like there's no colors there. You have to do all the coloring yourself, the color grading yourself. But with film, all the color grading is basically just done for you. You just need to add the contrast and do the basic sliders like this. I do add a little bit of saturation in there. Maybe I'll turn that, I think for this one, because the red was really like saturated a bit too crazy, I turned down the saturation a little bit and the luminance too to make it a little bit darker. And I added some green to the shadows, but not really anything that crazy in my opinion. I don't really edit them that much. I think you should edit your film photos, but like not that much, because the colors are already there for you. They're already done for you. It's really just the basic sliders that you have to move. So yeah. So one subtle thing that I did add, which you can't really tell with the white background, was I added like vignetting here. So I've got like white vignetting. I'll show you. So basically, yeah, I added this white vignette here because I could have done more like that or something like that, but I like to add a subtle amount because right now I think there's a lot of this void going on in the background here, and I think there's nothing really going on. So having some like white vignettes, it kind of centralizes the model a little bit more and kind of adds that framing to it. And I don't really do that, but I know a lot of photographers do that, and I thought, like, oh, I'm gonna try it myself, and it looks really good. I was reluctant to do it, but yeah, it looks really nice. Maybe I could have done a little bit more, so I could have done like that much or something to make it a little bit more obvious, but I don't know, I don't think I needed to do that, to be fair. It's like whatever, I think a subtle amount looks better. I think you can't really tell right now because it's against a white like background here, but when you go look on Instagram or you look on a website, it looks more prominent there. But yeah, like I said earlier about the cropping, look how cropped that is. This was the original photo. Yeah, that was the original photo. That was the original photo. That was like the composition, right? Which is like nothing like it was like that. But you can see how much you can punch in when you're using medium format without having to lose any resolution. So yeah, it's great. Anyway guys, that is it for the breakdown. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys found this useful. Guys, like I said earlier, don't forget to check out my photography program in the top link description below. Click it. Photo Genius University. So if you want personal training and you want to learn about how to light, how to be a professional and make money in this business model as a portrait photographer, and want to try to create amazing photos like I do that land me clients, guys, again, click the top link below, join it today, become a student. I want to see you inside. I want you to see real progress, because right now you're probably not seeing real progress. So if you join, that's going to change. So yeah, click the top link below if you're interested. Anyway, that is it for the video. Thank you for watching. Click on any of these videos here to learn more about portrait photography. And I'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.